Hey guys, thank you for being here today. This is my Father's Day gift. Super happy. This is now obviously my favorite cup. That's what chilling, watching TV. Um, so I watched the Democratic debate, and it made me want to touch on a couple of topics. One is the way that our politicians, I was looking at other folks' blogs and seeing their perspective about it, and they were like, well, it looks like Beto didn't perform and Roy did this and blah, 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 blah. To be honest, during that debate, everybody that answered a question did a good job. That's to be honest. Everybody did a good job. And we have to move to a system where talk is not enough. Listen, since Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton debating Barack Obama, and Donald Trump debating Hillary Clinton, politicians have gotten smarter when it comes to the debate tactics. They've gotten smarter when it comes to debate tactics. And all they do, let's back up for a second. Let's talk about the form. Okay, the form is there's 10 individuals on stage. Last night there was 10 candidates on stage, right? 10 Democratic candidates, right? They get 60 seconds to answer a question. That's almost the same amount of time you get for an elevator pitch. If you know sales, elevator pitches is what they say you should base everything you're going to tell to a person that you're trying to sell something to, or a high level individual that you're trying to gain their attention, right? So they get 60 seconds to answer the question, and if there's someone who's answering or rebuttaling another person's question, they get 30 seconds to answer the rebuttal. Okay, that's how those are the that's the parameters that we're going to use when determining who is the best fit to lead the free world. To lead the free world. I'm not picking on this person when I say this, but there was a section in the debate where the uh, the commentators or the host or the narrators of the debate basically said, the narrators of the debate basically said, Elizabeth Warren, we noticed that you think, and let me say, they only talk about emotional topics to the people, because if they didn't talk and touch on emotional topics, the debates would be too boring to even care about. That's number one, okay? So the narrator's fired off because Elizabeth Warren is a tenured politician and has more points than other candidates on that stage. So they said, Elizabeth Warren, you feel that students' tuition should be free, students' tuition's debt should be expunged or wiped out. You believe in free health care. You believe in health care free for kids. Free. Now listen, that perks up Democrats' ears, because who doesn't want something free, right? Because the Democratic Party is supposed to be the party of the blue collar, little man who built the country perspective. But it's so disingenuous when you got to sit there and listen to these politicians talk about topics that they cannot and will not affect or change. Trump did it. They just answer these questions that touch on your emotions. And they have no intentions on fixing or changing the situation. We should... How long and how many times will we... It seems like the structure is demanding that we play that game. Why can't we as the citizens play a different game? They seen how pissed off we were about it in 2016. So the way they, I guess, got around it is they added more people to the candidate panel. And that somehow is going to make it seem like the people had more of a voice. When in fact, someone like Julian Castro doesn't even have a chance. He can forget about it. He can forget about it. Elizabeth Warren has been Elizabeth Warren was an assistant dean back in of her law school back in 1980. She had been in some form of politics for almost 40 years. 40 years. 40 years. You heard these broad statements. I'm going to take on the pharmaceutical industry. I'm going to bust big business and bust up monopolies. Look, no, you're not. No, you're not. I'm going to drain the swamp. No, you're not. No, you're not. Donald Trump's cabinet, he has more military personnel around him than any other president in the history of our presidents. He has more rich individuals. Listen. Let me tell you some simple logic that we better come to understand when we as common people want a politician to understand or fight for the common. A wealthy individual do not experience... Okay, listen. Just think about how divided suburbs are. Suburbia America. Think about how divided, even down all the way to the local level. All the way down to the local level. I'm not talking about divided when it comes to color. I'm talking about economical and social division. I'm not talking about color. I'm talking about economic and social division. Millionaires, CEOs, COOs, those that have do not mingle with those who do not. Let me say that again. Listen what I'm about to tell you. If you don't believe this, just think about that neighborhood. That neighborhood. Think about that neighborhood over there. Do you know anybody that live in that neighborhood? That neighborhood got elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, restaurants. Do you eat in that neighborhood? Huh? Do you eat in that neighborhood? No, you don't. You don't. You don't. You don't. If we want to see real social change, in order to get real social change, you have to move outside of politics. And then folks would say, well, Donald Trump was outside of politics. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Donald Trump ran for president before. No, he wasn't. Donald Trump was meshed in politics. He said it the whole campaign. He said it every... Listen. Donald Trump was entwined with politics long before he got elected president. Donald Trump has never not been politically in tune. He said, I contributed to the campaigns of both parties to get my agenda in the business world. Listen, Donald Trump made it very clear that he has contributed large sums of money to both sides of the political aisle in order to get his professional career where it is. No one listened to that. No one made it seem, no one listened to that and said, well, he's compromised. Everyone's focused on this, oh, he's compromised by Russia. What the fuck did that even matter? What is he doing for the everyday common individual? Well, he's established jobs and black people are making more money and white people are making... Listen, man, listen. Please understand this. Please understand this. Is your insurance as... Okay, let's test that. And let me show you how you're given talking points, just like you're going to be giving the candidate to like. You're given talking points just like you're going to be giving a candidate to like, and you will accept that candidate. It's kind of like listening to a song. If you keep listening to it, you'll eventually like it. It's kind of Edward Bernays had it right. Like you're given the candidate that you're going to like. Watch what I tell you. That's a fact. That's a fact. If you don't believe in what I'm saying is valid, because supposedly the economy is doing better, I bet you for the common man, the economy is the overall economy may be doing better, but I bet you your personal economy is not. I bet you. Well, let's just see. Let's just see. Okay. Are your taxes any lower? Are you paying any less in taxes every year? No. Chances are you're probably paying more. Are your insurances for your kids, your life insurance plan, the insurance that you have with your job, are your insurances any cheaper? Have your job decided to assume any more of the responsibility of your insurance, or have they decided to contribute because they take more profit? Have they decided to contribute to you to make a real change in your social life? Chances are no. They offer you that $2 raise. That's as good as it's getting. That's as good as it getting. So it doesn't matter if you vote for Elizabeth Warren, Cory Booker, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, folks. And I know this is a very pessimistic perspective, but I'm just trying to shed some light that the only topics that are being discussed are the ones that would keep you entertained. When in reality, I personally believe, I'm going to make this statement, I'm going to put this out there because I personally believe that the election process has warped into something that, because of so much because there is such a undertone of upheaval from poverty, that the political system up top have to listen to that undertone at the impoverished level. So they bring more candidates in to show that they are listening to that tone, but they'll never elect someone from that tone. Okay? That really, so think about what I'm saying. So you'll be like, well, the rebuttal to that is, well, Barack Obama was a junior senator from Chicago. You know, he was living on the south side of Chicago when he was elected. How many changes did Barack Obama do for? If he was a junior senator from Chicago, well, look at Chicago today. Look at Chicago today. Look at Chicago today. Without a doubt, regardless of your political stance, Barack Obama could have did more his first year for blacks. And I'm not trying to attack Barack Obama for this. With executive order, we'll leave that there. We'll let that be. Your life has not changed, and I believe that those up top know that they have to grant some kind of, it's like a pressure cooker, that they have to allow some kind of outlet for the pressure that builds up on the bottom to keep the common man from rioting and upheaval in the streets. And I think also that one of the reasons why it's not controlled in places that surround the United States that are in absolute anarchy right now, like Venezuela, okay, is because their media is not centralized. It's because their media is not centralized. United States media has become so centralized that they're going to tell you who to like as a candidate, and you're going to go that direction. If you don't believe that, scroll YouTube. YouTube is CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, all the top, probably for 5 pages, probably for 10 pages. You can't even find a, look, YouTube is open. We're so close-minded. YouTube is open to the whole world. You cannot find an international news station if you Google, if you search U.S. news or even if you search Iranian news. I bet you still get MSNBC, Fox News, and CNN for 5 pages, 10 pages. I bet you can't find an Iranian news station. It's horrible, man. Just a rant.